Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This will be a very important video as we are going to be getting into the latest geopolitical conflicts, the possibility of food shortages, how the world is dealing with this sickness, and of course, a lot of the bull that's also happening right now that deserves to be called out. Now, before we get into that, plus the incompetencies of government, I wanted to remind you that in this time, we have also set up a little bootleg health store called CleanHealthyHappy.com. CleanHealthyHappy.com wasn't my URL name. And if you're looking for some essential items, supplements, or hand sanitizers, you could still get them on this website. Again, the link will be in the description and comments down below. And of course, your purchases do also in a minimal way go to supporting this independent media organization. Now, if you remember, we always keep telling you, the government is absolutely incompetent, and the only person responsible for you will always be just you and no one else. And we got another prime example of why that's the best advice to take during this entire situation, as we just had an insane admission by the governor of Georgia, who came out and said that he just learned that people could get infected by this sickness even if they're showing no symptoms, if they're asymptomatic. Yeah, that's how far behind, ignorant, backwards, and asinine the total government response has been in just this one little sound clip.
Been telling people from directives from the CDC for weeks now that if you start feeling bad, stay home. Those individuals could have been infecting people before they ever felt bad. Well, we didn't know that until the last 24 hours, and as Dr. Toomey told me, she goes, this is a game changer for us.
Even the hand sign guy is like, what the fuck? And again, this is just one poor, uneducated response of many by government officials that, of course, in some instances have made this entire situation that much worse. And to add to the controversy and craziness of it all, we're getting new information from the United Kingdom that testing has been delayed because some of the kits that they got, quote, overseas were contaminated with the sickness that they were testing it for. Now, overseas is most likely from China, and there were traces of this sickness found on some of the testing kits that again, were probably handled by individuals who were sick from this and didn't even know it. That again is one possible scenario. Other people's are pointing to a more nefarious possibility here. And again, all options are on the table here, as again, one of the biggest things that could prevent a lot of this chaos from expanding and unfolding is simply wearing a mask. Something that in the United States, the CDC, the Surgeon General, and also the World Health Organization that the United States funds with money, those organizations still are telling you, nah, don't wear masks. Even though, again, a large spread of this is happening, even through previous studies in Italy, showing that the major spread of this is happening by people who are not showing any symptoms, and therefore affecting people who are immune compromised. Now, one of the talking points that I've been seeing that is pretty disturbing is the fact that only old people and sick people are getting this, so we don't have to worry about any of this at all, right? No, you cold, heartless dumbass. You should worry about it, because if you understand how many people have pre-existing conditions, comorbidities, you would be absolutely shocked. In the United States, for an example, one of the major conditions that is leading to death from this sickness is hypertension. If you have hypertension, the risk of you dying from this sickness is extremely increased. And in the United States, almost 1 out of every 2 adults has hypertension. 108 million people in the United States have this. Diabetes, another major factor that's leading to mortality increases of this sickness. And in the United States, more than 100 million Americans are living with diabetes or pre-diabetes. Obesity, another factor here, which again, 70 million Americans in the United States, 35 million men, 35 million women, are obese. So yeah, again, just seeing this stupid, asinine, heartless talking point again, needs to be met with some logic and some critical thinking, which sadly a lot of people has just forgone now. Again, some of the numbers here that I'm seeing and memes that people are posting are just absolutely ridiculous. And again, I'm saying this with a backdrop of studying and learning about historical pandemics that have ravaged civilizations in the past. Before there was 5G, before there was everything else that people are just making up right now as a response and cause to all of this. But yet again, pandemics have happened historically before. They are something that we should be taking seriously. And I'm seeing this meme go around right now, and already this number has doubled in the world. And there's a big possibility of exponential growth, especially if more hospitals get overwhelmed. And again, I'm here banging my head against the wall because one easy way to prevent this is just to have people take this seriously so they don't affect people who might have a pre-existing condition that they don't know about, might have a compromised immune system that they know about. Just having a little bit of courtesy towards other individuals and to just simply wear a mask. It also hides your identity from surveillance cameras. I'm not fricking calling for a New World Order police state like all these other buffoons are. And again, the solution here is simple and it's easy, and it's best to take this situation seriously for many reasons. And how everything developed from China is one reason to take this seriously, as of course China and the United States are at odds with each other. China, of course, wanting top #1 global hegemony. They are #2 right now because the United States has that top #1 hegemony position, which China is after. Now, seeing some of the attacks from U.S. intelligence agencies recently on China should be concerning to a lot of people, since it signals a sort of Cold War 2.0 between these two nations. And we have to ask ourselves, why is the U.S. intelligence community doing this now when, of course, China has been hiding their numbers from the very beginning of this? They were arresting doctors and journalists who were exposing what was happening in China. Meanwhile, they were actually taking this very seriously, which is something that again should be another factor why you should be taking this seriously, because China does not give a damn about its citizenry. And the fact that they quarantined and locked down their country for this was one significant signal that made me see this as something very serious. And this is why throughout our video recordings we have been telling you to take this serious as well. There's other video coming from Chinese state television of course, military members in China talking about the use of super bugs, biological weaponry that, according to even these own reports years ago, was talked about as something bigger than the hydrogen bomb. And of course, we're seeing a lot of back and forth attacks between China and the United States. There's been a lot of Chinese biological espionage happening that's being reported. There's even now a documentary showing Chinese virus researchers catching wild bats, while of course the origin story of how this virus came to be just keep completely falling apart, keeps being changed, with of course patient 0 now officially changing, conflicting information coming from that wet market. And now officially, the official story is that this sickness came from a horseshoe bat, which by the way has no connection to this Wuhan wet market, wasn't sold at that wet market, and didn't exist. While of course a level 4 laboratory facility, the only one in all of China, existed in Wuhan. And that's yet another reason why, of course, this uncertain sickness that is still developing, that is still mutating, that is still affecting so many people in so many different ways, should be taken seriously. So yeah, sorry that I've been seeing the writing on the walls here from the very beginning, and people will attack me, and I don't care. The truth is the truth. This information needs to get out there to the general public so we understand what actually is happening here. We shouldn't be left in the blind. We should take this seriously, and we should have some courtesy to our fellow brothers and sisters in public to make sure that we might give them something that could eventually really either hurt them or end their life. Again, I don't understand why we shouldn't be taking this seriously. And the more we don't take this seriously, the more of an excuse government will have to intervene. Again, this is just common sense logic here. Prove me wrong. I have so many people, oh, you're fear mark. Okay, how? Show me the data. Show me the information. Show me the facts that conflict with anything that I'm saying right now. Because it's true that if people were responsible for themselves, if people did take precautionary actions, did simply wear a mask, stay away from immune-compromised people or older people, take care of their health, be responsible for themselves, there would be less of chaos happening right now. But guess what? People didn't do that. People were telling you on the mainstream media. The government was telling you, it's just the flu, don't worry about it. Well, look where the frick we are right now. Look where we're going. And all of this could have been avoided. And it hasn't, because of stupid ignorance, idiocy, as if it was almost planned from the very beginning, which again, it's still possible here, to create the most chaos that it can. So yeah, I'm just livid. And again, this is something important. This is something serious. I've been telling people, be prepared for this. Have a big bag of rice and beans from the onset of this. I've been telling people, take this seriously. A lot of people still mock that. A lot of people think that everything is just totally made up. Again, I was going to get into the possibility of food shortages, since of course the United States also doesn't have any major reserves of grain or other important food that we're going to most likely need during these difficult times. I was going to talk about all the other countries, but I'm going to have to save that for another video, since of course there's so much to get into in just one single day. Again, a lot of these draconian, tyrannical, insane measures by government are totally out of control, totally out of hand, and it's time the American people actually got the truth of the entire situation unfolding in front of us, actually was told what works and doesn't work. Stop being fed lies, disinformation by an uncaring, unsympathetic government that is bailing out their special interest and the 0.01% right now. I am sick and tired of this hooey and malarkey, and it's time as we, as humanity, stand up for ourselves, stand up for our family, our community, and understand that we are all in this together, because no one else, especially government, will be responsible for you. So yeah, a lighthearted video today. Anyway, that's my take on it. You're gonna, call me names. You're gonna have feedback. That's okay. I don't censor you. I'm pro free speech. I want conversations. I have people on this show that disagree with me. That's okay. We want that. We want to have that conversation down below. But I would ask you, you could say stupid stuff about my nose and my hair. I don't care. But if you really do genuinely care, I hope you lay out some facts and information to contradict me if you think I'm wrong. And I will honestly look at it. That's my promise to you. I'm only here because of you. And this is why I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.